What is the meaning of life? Have you ever asked yourself that question? It's a question which has been asked forever, for as long as we can remember. I mean, ancient writings, ancient stories, ancient myths and understandings have told us that people throughout the ages have asked this question about the meaning of life. I wonder if you've asked it yourself. You probably have in some way or another, because we sort of all do. And whether you're someone who's a student, a young person who's got their life ahead of them, and you're thinking to yourself, what's my purpose? Where do I fit? Where's my place in this world? Whether you're someone with a young family and you've seen that incredible life-changing experience that happens when you have your own children, and then you're starting to think, where's their place in the world? What's the world that we're leaving for our kids? Whether you are someone perhaps a bit like myself who's finding yourself in the middle of your life, and you're thinking to yourself, I've worked for all of these things, I've supplied for my family, all that sort of stuff, and now what? Whether you are older again and you're starting to think about the legacy that you've left, and you're looking back and going, what have I done, and how has that been important, and where does that fit into the bigger picture? And you may be thinking about the stuff that you can invest into your children and grandchildren, or the people around you if you haven't had kids. All sorts of questions that we ask about a picture that's bigger than ourselves. And it's fascinating that humanity tends to struggle with this question. I don't say struggle because it's negative, but struggle in terms of it's something that we work at, and something that we work towards is understanding the question about the meaning of life. And I think there's something in that itself, because what it tells us is that there's something within us as humans that recognizes there's something more than just being the top of the food chain in an animal world. Something more than just how do we survive, how do we get ahead, how do we make sure we recreate and that then our young ones survive. There's something more to that. And I think within our asking that question is found a truth. Because when you think about the fact that we all ask this question, it's really hard to reconcile that, I believe, with an understanding that we are just a cosmic accident. We're just the product of some sort of natural selection that's worked out, and our ancestors are fish or those sorts of ideas. And you might still be in that space, and that's okay. I'm just saying that for me, thinking about the fact that we might all be here accidentally, and that somehow the universe has meant that we are here and there's nothing more to it than that, is really hard to reconcile with the fact that all of us search for some sort of meaning. And sometimes we know that we are, and sometimes we don't. And it's easy in our current modern world, and I'm talking about, I guess, the Western culture, to think we're not searching for that meaning. But the reality is that we aren't, because we're getting shoved a definition of meaning down our throat that we're just swallowing without thinking about. And it's consumerism and capitalism and getting on top that way. And if 2020 has told us anything, it's that definition of meaning, of purpose in our lives, is pretty darn fragile. And so maybe you're finding yourself in a place where you're searching for meaning. I want to share with you something that helps me in this place. And that is my knowledge, my understanding of God. And you probably have an understanding of God as well. And it's not an understanding and a meaning that's found in the workings of church. I'm not dissing church. It has a really important place. But it's beyond that. It's about our connection with our Creator, and with a Creator that loves us so much and wants us to find our place in life so much that our Creator would come to earth in the form of Jesus, to be able to show us the value that we have in a cosmic world. A value so great that the Creator of our universe would come for us. And within that is a heck of a lot of hope and a heck of a lot of the answer to the question about the meaning of life.